recorded January 15th, 2024. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on Gadgets, the Internet, and You. I'm Sean Jennings, joined by a man who likes to get his ice cream at Cold Stone Creamery. It's Colby Rabidou. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Sean.
And I even had a pun ready for McDonald's, which is where Dan would get his food, because I just think that sounds funny.
McDonald's. That sounds nice. Is Cold Stone Creamery still a thing? Can you still go there and have them smush up your ice cream for you?
They and it's still vastly overpriced. Absolutely.
Nice. I always liked those weird paddles they had.
And you gotta get that the cold stone. You gotta get that cold granite.
You know, that's funny. I never made that connection.
I saw the look. I'm sorry. I saw the look on your face when I said that. And I'm like, I don't think he ever put that together.
No, I thought the name was just, you know, it was like, obviously it's cold because it's ice cream, but
well, I think there's a Cold Stone knockoff. I think it's called Marble Slab. Like in the same vein of like yeah, it's Marble something. And they do the same sort of mixing concept. Yeah, Marble Slab Creamery.
So is the idea that, like, wow, that's so many questions now. Is the rock like chilled so the ice cream doesn't melt as much when it's being smushed?
That's exactly the idea.
Wow. And was that who invented the Cold Stone? Do they have a well, obviously they don't, because this other company is knocking them off.
It was Chester Coldstone. So you knew, if you set me up for that, if you asked me who invented it, so no, I'm going to the Wikipedia page here. Company was co-founded in 1998 by Donald and Susan Sutherland, who sought ice cream that was neither hard packed nor soft serve. Yeah, Cold Stone derives its name from the frozen granite slab that employees use to fold mix-ins into the ice cream. It's now the 6th best-selling brand of ice cream in the U.S.
Wow. Can you buy Cold Stone ice cream like outside of a Cold Stone store? Or is it just, it's just best selling because people go to so many Cold Stone creameries?
I believe that's the case. Oh, look here. On the Wikipedia page, in 2023, an Oregon employee lost 3 fingers when the rotors of an ice cream machine pulled the towel she was using and her hand into the machine's blades.
Gross.
Yep.
I'm looking up the closest Cold Stone creamery. Oh. There is one much closer to me than I realized. Where is that? It's like a block away from my house. I've never seen that before. Oh. Weird. Well, now I kind of want some ice cream.
Damn, I don't have any for you, unfortunately.
That's sad.
Can't help you.
What's your favorite kind of ice cream, Sean?
Oh, that's a good. I don't eat a lot of ice cream, admittedly. It's for me. It's much better as a once in a while treat. There's a great. I'll shout out a great local ice cream maker. They make it fresh right here in the area, called Batch Ice Cream, and it's wonderful. And I just like to try new flavors. I'm not a big chocolate guy, but I will do any kind of graham crackery, coconutty, not necessarily peanut butter, but like fruits. Any of that. I wouldn't say. I guess if I had to go to like your basic mix of ice creams, coffee ice cream is pretty bomb. And that's like, you got to go to Friendly's, you get the coffee fribble. That's where it's at.
Nice.
When I was a kid, I used to, I would have a bowl of coffee ice cream, and then I would take like a jar of maraschino cherries, and I would pour the juice out into the coffee ice cream. And so it would be coffee ice cream and cherry juice. and it was I don't know if it's still good. Maybe it's just one of those things you like as a kid, and you're like, "That's disgusting." I haven't tried it in many years, so
I could see it. Honestly, I haven't had coffee ice cream in a long time.
it's good. Very New England. What do you usually gravitate towards?
We have two. There are two ice cream. Usually, we get ice cream late at night when we've decided we want ice cream at spur of the moment. There are two places a person can go and get ice cream. One is the corner store across the street, which has like, it's like the selection is the same as the cafe at Marist where we used to go and get ice cream late at night. It's like Ben and Jerry's pints, which are good. I like Chunky Monkey. I've been on a Chunky Monkey kick recently.
Mm-hmm.
But the other option is JP Licks, which is kind of like a local Boston ice cream store. And I feel like in my head anyways, their bit is that they have many flavors of cookies and cream. So they have like peanut butter cookies and cream and like coffee cookies and cream. And they have I think it's salted caramel cookies and cream, which is outrageously good. So that's the bespoke option is salted caramel cookies and cream. That's the only flavor I ever get there because it's too good.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I wish you see. Now let if you have you don't have a lot of kitchen space. We've talked about that before. Would you ever get an ice cream maker? If you had the, let's say you had a beautiful huge kitchen, you will actually at some point. Do you think you consume enough ice cream to invest in an ice cream maker?
We do have the KitchenAid ice cream maker attachment bowl thing, which works okay. The problem with it is that you have to put it in the freezer. Like you have to put the bowl in the freezer like for 24 hours or something, and then you can use it. And like our freezer is even smaller than our kitchen. So I mean, as most freezers are, but like in a relative sense, the freezer is quite small.
Well, an ice cream too is sometimes a bit of a spur of the moment snack. You don't want a day's notice on your hankering.
Right, exactly. You really have to plan ahead. You also have to like most of we've only made it once or twice, but like the recipes for the custard or whatever, like you have to make that the day before too. Like that's supposed to like sit for a day. So it's like a double whammy of planning ahead. But it is pretty good.
Yeah, ice cream for me it falls in that category of things I technically could make at home, but I know would never even come remotely close to professionally made stuff. That pizza's like that for me. Like I've always wanted to try like, oh, I see everyone making pizza at home, and it's I'm sure I could. I'm sure it's possible. But there's no way it would come even close to just going and getting a pizza. That I might as well just go get a pizza, you know?
Right. Yeah, like I feel like pizza, especially, there are like multiple things to learn. Or at least one thing to learn, which is dealing with the dough.
Yes.
And then you probably need some specialty equipment, like at least a pizza steel or something.
Yeah, that was I have a coworker who got one of those like fancy standalone pizza grill things.
Like
and yeah, one of those. And they were like, Sean, I hate it now that I got it because I feel like I have to make pizza all the time to justify it. And I'm like trapped in this pizza like conundrum I can't get out of because I see it sitting there and I'm like, damn, I guess we got to have pizza again because he spent like, I don't even know what on it. I said, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, they're like multi-thousands of dollars, right?
Oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like I said, you have to be a professional pizza chef, basically, to need one of these things.
Was that a pun?
No. Certainly not intentionally. Certainly not intentionally.
Well, you know what? Someday, Sean, we're gonna have a pizza / ice cream party, and we're gonna make all
Oh,
of it. It'll be great.
I love that idea. That pizza of the month / ice cream of the month.
Right.
That's a great
you
plan.
You can bring your granite slab, and we'll smush some ice cream. And
I will try that. I would try it. I'm just gonna go to my local Cold Stone and like watch them for several hours. I'm sure they won't mind. Really get the technique down because
you can get an ice cream and just sit by the counter,
like film them with a camera. Be like, wait, can't slow down. Can you slow down? Hang on, I need to. Guess as long as I leave them a tip. I was gonna update you. I don't know how thrilling this is. I do have a technology story for the week. Sometimes where we do these. I'll try and keep the preface brief before I get to the actual topic. Colby, everyone loves their ISP. We know this. Okay, Comcast is the best. We're big fans. And on January 1st, my bill went up. I guess I was at the end of a promotional period, so I had to do that song and dance where you call them and try and get a discount. And thankfully I did. It was a little painful, but it wasn't too bad. I got my bill back down to where it was, which was fine. But the guy said something that said, oh, by the way, we can give you a complimentary speed upgrade on your internet connection. And it won't cost you anything. I said, okay. So I never really thought about my internet speed. Like, it's always been fine. It's not like anything's been slow or not working. And so actually I went in and looked. I was at 600 megabits. They complimentary bumped me up to 1,200 megabits, which is a lot. Yeah. That's almost a gigabit, basically. And I'm like, that's okay. But then I thought about it. I'm like, well, wait a second. Even at 600, the fastest I ever tracked my speed was at 150. I never got 600. And now they're bumping me to 12. Right. And so then I thought, okay, I need to do an inventory of my networking equipment. My modem was 6 years old. And so, so I invested in a new modem, DOCSIS 3.1, literally doubling the up and down capacity on it. Plug this bad boy. It goes up over a gigabit. So I'm like, great. My internet's going to be flying once I plug this thing in. It takes me almost an hour to set it up with Comcast. I have gone from 150 all the way up to 300. So it's technically faster, but I was very disappointed, and now I have to figure out where the bottleneck is, because as I looked, I have about 40 internet devices in my house, so I would like some more bandwidth, please. And now I'm thinking, gee, is there some 200 megabit plan I can downgrade to and save some money? I'm not getting my money's worth. So my next step is I got to get with Comcast, and my suspicion it's the wiring in the house somewhere isn't good enough to handle it. But I've got some things I got to test out. So,
do you have an Ethernet cabled computer?
Well, that's my next. I haven't tried it. So my mesh Wi-Fi is capable up to a gig. So it shouldn't be banned, but that's my next step, is to just plug the laptop in directly into the modem. But my guess is that's why I think I was only getting 150 before, is I think something coming into it isn't right. Even with the old modem. But again, I got to investigate.
That happened to me. I think that was 3 apartments ago. I was paying for their gigabit, and it just I never got more than 400 up, and they came out multiple times and never made any progress, which was annoying. I think right now, I think I pay for the plan that you are getting for free now, which is annoying.
I'm just a good guy. No, but the key difference between me and you, Colby, is I pay for cable.
Oh, yeah.
So my bill is much higher than yours. They better give it to me for free, because they're ripping me off on the damn cable.
Well, you're mentioning your bill going up on January 1st prompted me to go look at my bill, and my bill went up $3.
Oh, that's
It's
not. Well, just be careful because
just like a slap in the face.
they do like 1 year promotional rates, and mine just happened to expire on the 1st. But that's because I think that's my new rate's like a 1 year promotional rate. So, that's I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the show. It's not interesting at all. But I put very few of my bills on auto pay. I manually pay them every month because it's just my way of monitoring, going on each company's website and actually like seeing what the amount is. Because I've had it before where they've like sucked the money out of my account, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
But I'll also, where is it right here? I won't show you all the numbers, but this is my complicated budgeting spreadsheet where I literally take a note card each month and I write all my bills, all the amounts, and like that's my budget, and all the money I pay. So
very sophisticated.
And I literally have years worth of my budget sitting here.
Wow.
This is my filing system right here. This is why I don't have any money.
Compact format. There's probably so much. You're probably saving a lot of money on paper just by using.
You know what?
Smaller pieces of paper.
What's funny is, so I write at the top of each one. It just says like January, but I don't put the year. Which I learned a lesson when I had these near an open window once, and they flew off my desk and onto the floor and got all scrambled. So they're kind of in order. But if I ever want to track the last couple of years, the numbers may not add up.
Right. Nice. My budgeting system is way more. It's like a feelings-based budgeting system. Like I get a sense for like the amount of money in my checking account should never go down, right? So there's like a baseline.
Yes.
And like, income, I get paid, like the number goes up, and like my bills get paid and the number goes down. But like in general, the first number in my balance ought to stay approximately the same over the course of the month, and like the next month and the next month. And so if for like a couple weeks you start seeing like a different number in the checking account, something has gone awry. There's a disturbance in the force that needs to be dealt with. But sneaky bill increases of a certain magnitude don't tend to reflect in that system, which is annoying.
That happened to me in reverse, actually, this past week, which is funny you mentioned it, because I basically do the same thing, right? Generally keep it the same in the account. Suddenly $2,000 showed up in my bank account. And what I realized had happened was, not to get too much into it, but I have 2 company credit cards. One I pay, one the company pays directly. And when I was doing expenses at the end of last year, I checked the wrong box. And so the money that should have been paid from the company directly to the credit card instead got given to me. So the company just gave me $2,000. So I had to like call our accounting department. I'm like, thank you for the money, but you need to take. So they're like, oh, just send it to Amex to pay off the card we would have anyway. I've been like, great. How do I do that? They're like, you can mail a check. I had to write a check to American Express and put it in an envelope, which felt very strange. And I'm like, is there any paperwork with it, like to explain what it's for? They're like, no, just put in the envelope. That just says to American Express. You just mail them a check. I'm like, oh, okay. Hopefully that gets paid.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently Amex is just that good. But it was, I was wondering, like, I'm rich. And, no such luck.
Wow. I guess I've never paid a credit card via the mail. I remember my parents always talking about paying the credit card bill by like writing a check and putting it in the mail and sending it. But I don't think I've ever done it myself. Honestly, in the past year since we've been doing this like house stuff, I've written and mailed more checks than I have in my entire life otherwise.
I love checks. I love writing checks. It sounds dumb, but there is just something satisfying. I pay my water bill every month. I could pay it online. I mail the city a check like a lunatic, and I just like writing the check. Just old-fashioned, I guess. The problem with building a house is those checks, I'm sure, can be pretty good. I'm writing $30 checks every month to the water department. I'm sure it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten into the really big ones, but it is definitely like, you just like do some double checking of your balance before you put that in the mail. The problem I have with checks is I always mess it up the first time. The first one, like I go through double, which is fine because I don't write that many, but I go through double the checks, and because the first time I write one and I always make a mistake. Usually when I'm writing out the just the number part, like the amount in numbers, for some reason I always mess that up. I think that would be the easy part.
Yeah, I feel like it's like cursive. Like you never use it except for the one time you need to. Like how do I alphanumerically write out a number, a dollar amount? $1,ONETH, you're like, "Oh shit. How do you spell 100?"
Right. You never use it except for that one section of the SATs where you had to like write out that paragraph.
Exactly. Well, what is it? Again, we're pivoting all over topics, but I think it's great. I think I read somewhere that California just made cursive mandatory. They
Really?
just signed a bill in October. Governor Gavin Newsom amends the state education code to include instruction in cursive or joined italics in the appropriate grade levels for grades 1 through 6. Mind you, a number of other states have actually removed it from because they say it's stupid and dumb.
I feel like I've heard it touted as a hand-eye coordination thing. Maybe not.
Yeah, it says here.
I'm thinking of something else.
No. A 2020 study from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology found that students writing in cursive activated different electrical activity in the brain as compared to typing. Well, compared to typing, and argued that young children should learn to write by hand successfully. Well, I guess that doesn't really. 17 other states mandate cursive, including Massachusetts. That's why we're so well educated. The law's author said that the bill is intended to help students to be able to read and write in cursive with the benefit of being able to read primary source historical documents. So,
I do, as an adult, I do read a lot of primary source historical documents. It has been a bigger part of my life than I expected.
Well, I love this quote from the bill's author because it really seems like it's a this guy problem. Quote, "A lot of historical documents going back 2 or 3 decades are actually in cursive. I went on 23andMe looking for some family records and they were all written in cursive." I just think this guy this woman, I should say, just had an issue herself. I don't know.
Wow. Well, never fear, Maybe it's going to have whatever the next generation after Gen Z, that's going to be their thing. They're going to be writing in cursive and none of us will be able to read it. That in code.
That does seem like a teenager thing. Be like, what is all these scribbles, you guys? What's a secret language? No, it's just cursive.
Wow.
There was a time where I was helping Grandma Flo balance. She would write checks for everything. So I would help her balance her checkbook because she was old and couldn't do the math. And she writes in cursive, and like old timey cursive. And I could not read what any of that was. I literally could. What's this? What's this? Yeah, I don't miss that.
I believe it.
Anything else in the banter part of the show, Mr. Colby?
The banter zone. I don't think so. There's nothing like totally wild going on in my life. New Year, it snowed a couple times.
Yes.
That was fun. It snowed and then it rained a lot, so there's no snow anymore.
It's been weathery.
Yeah, big weather situation. We're implementing a new system this winter where we take the car for walks. That's kind of relevant to the weather.
Aw, that's so
Like
sweet.
every weekend. Yeah. Cuz last winter during the summer you had to move the car all the time because of street cleaning. So like at least once a month you have to move the car if you didn't go somewhere. But like last winter I feel like we barely drove the car at all because you don't have there's no street cleaning. So once you get a good parking spot, we just left it there forever, like all winter. And then like when the summer came, it like exploded on the highway. It was very sad, and we brought it in. They were like, "What happened to your brakes? Like they're covered in rust." I was like, well, so that's new. Yesterday we took the car on the car walk. Yeah, I guess my life's not that exciting.
No, it's the little things. It's the little things. Have you taken the car anywhere interesting or just around?
No, usually just like around the blocks, like enough to scrape the goop off the brakes and like.
Are you just like stopping
like,
suddenly and
tires? Yeah, that's what I do. Once there's no one behind me, you can kind of feel it. Like when you first start going and stopping, it's like it's a little like. But then once you've stopped once or twice, it's all smooth sailing. It's great. So that's fun.
Remind me to be a very careful pedestrian in your neighborhood. If I see a man driving very strangely.
So far, it always stops. So we have out the window here. There is a large construction site that has been a construction site for honestly since before COVID. Like they started working on it like 9 months after I moved here, and they have been working on it ever since. And it seems like they're getting pretty close to being done, but in the process of of doing this construction project, they have like torn up and sort of like haphazardly repaved the road 7, 8, 9 times at this point. And so all summer it was pretty bad where there are just like huge like divots and like holes in the road. But as soon as it got cold, like all of them like doubled in size. So there are like huge dips in the asphalt where they like dug a trench and like covered it up. But the effect is like they're like inverted speed bumps and you can't see them. So people don't, people like I know because I've driven through this intersection, dozens of times. So like I know that even though it looks like a clear intersection, you need to go like 4 miles an hour. You're gonna bottom out. But it is fun to watch people. I don't know who they are, but in my head, it's usually a person in a too nice BMW, like flying through the intersection and just like completely like bottom out on both, like both ends of their car. But yeah, I guess the point is, it's dangerous for cars around here too. It's no joke.
That's why you should always keep yours on a leash.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Well, good. Well, we can pivot on over to tonight's main story. But before we do that, I do just want to mention I will not be here next week for the show because this is my company's national sales meeting, which I, for lack of a better term, run. I mention this because it's the one time of year I get asked by a large number of people I see rarely, Sean, what do you do when you're not at work? And I tell them I do some podcasts, and they say, oh, what are they about? And then I have to explain it. And then some percentage of them will actually then look it up. And some percentage will actually listen to the latest episode, which will be this one. So if any of my colleagues are listening to the show for the first time, welcome. I think it's been great so far, I would say. And I think we got more great stuff coming. But I would like to welcome you and encourage you to subscribe and keep listening. How about that?
Yeah. Go OMG.
And there you go. And don't tell anyone anything I say on the show. This is my little secret. Don't report me to anybody. Okay. So, Colby, we got a great topic for us tonight here. We've done this basically every year on the show, which is great. The annual Consumer Electronics Show just happened in Las Vegas. And it is a grand tradition for us to talk about some of the dumb and stupid gadgets that come out of CES. I will say, bad year for dumb stuff. I did a bunch of Googling, and it was a mix of actually interesting stuff, stuff that we've seen before, but is somehow still new. Like there was the laptop that's 2 screens instead of a screen. A keyboard was big this year, which I'm like weird gadgets, but they were like not funny. It's like, oh, it's a haptic gloves for VR, and I'm like, well, VR is kind of a real thing now, so I can't really say they're stupid. I guess it's like, so but I picked out some here in the rundown that we can talk about that I think are interesting, weird, whatever. You see the rundown there. Is there any particular one you want to start with, Colby?
Definitely the keyboard case.
Again, another idea that I know for a fact I saw like 6 years ago. I really don't think this is a new idea, but I'm going to throw up the screen share actually for those watching on YouTube so they can enjoy it. Let's go to Clicks. So a new product from Clicks. It is a physical keyboard to attach to your smartphone. It's pretty simple. It's a silicone case with a physical keyboard on the bottom. It's going to be available for iPhone 14 Pro, iPhone 15 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max at launch, costing you $139. The idea here is that it gives you your some screen space back because you're not going to have that virtual keyboard on there. And it's also things like shortcuts. There's actually a command key on here. You do like command space to open up Spotlight Search, command H to go home. And it's customizable as well. So you can use it to activate third-party apps for this keyboard. It'll come in a few different colors, yellow, pink, and gray. With the keyboard is backlit. So I don't know, not a radical idea in terms of technology, but certainly a new way to use your phone, Colby. Does Clicks have any appeal to you at all?
It kind of does. As I just picked it because it stuck in my head. It looks very funny, like like iPhones are kind of long, and then it's like an extra like 2 inches at the bottom of the phone, which looks kind of funny. But as you were describing the like command space to open Spotlight Search, I was like, oh, I super want that. I feel like I remember when phones had keyboards, but in the world where like your phone operating system could have keyboard shortcuts, my phone has never had a keyboard. So I don't know. It might be kind of cool.
Yeah, honestly, I think this makes more sense on a smaller phone, because you're right. You don't want to take your Pro Max and make it bigger. But if you have like a mini, I'm like, okay, your phone screen without the keyboard on it, and it only makes it a little bigger. So that makes more sense. I will say though, I look at this and that's to me the most interesting thing is the customizability of it. But then I'm like, why wouldn't you just make like one row of slightly bigger buttons that are totally customizable, that just aren't letters and like shortcut style? Maybe they have a small OLED screen under them so they can kind of customize what they look like. And you can do all kinds of shortcuts and alt keys. I don't need a full keyboard. Because I think we talked about, what is it called? The activity button, the new customizable button on the side of the iPhone. I'm like, that's a great idea. Right. Add more of that. A full keyboard kind of seems a little much. But also, I think at $139, it's a novelty,
Right. I kind of want to get one.
Don't let me stop you. I think it. Oh,
I can't find I've clicked through all the links in this article. Oh, I finally found one that went to their website. Thank God.
I'm sorry, but all the photos in the article are like at an angle or showing the keyboard. But on their website, they have a picture of like an iPhone wrapped to this thing, and it looks ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's so long. This is like, it's basically like the old cordless phones, the really long ones you'd hold up to your head. Like, this is so silly. Oh my God, that's awesome.
I love it.
And you get it in the yellow. It looks like a big banana you're holding up to your face. This is just silly.
Make your statement.
Well, that you can buy now, and they're going to be shipping soon. So, as soon as February. So, does Colby take the clicks challenge?
I mean, I might. I'm not going to do it on the show, but now the real question though is, do I get banana or gray?
London Sky.
London Sky.
It's the gray. Mike, what color is your iPhone?
I think I have the blue one, like the dark blue.
Oh, you got to do the yellow. It's going to look so bad. You got to do it. That just does not make any sense. You got to put it. You got to put those together. That is nuts. That is nuts. Well, listen, you know what? If I can say anything nice about this project, it exists and you can buy it, because we see a ton of stuff at CES where it's like coming next year and then it just never comes out. And this one you can like actually buy. So I'll give him points for that. It's real.
Clicks.
Good for them. Okay, so the first one gets a thumbs up from Colby.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Perfecta grill here, because I think this would go great with your Clicks keyboard. It's and I think it would go great. We were just talking about cooking. This is from Sear Grills, a UK-based startup. It's the Perfecta. It can cook a 1-inch thick ribeye steak in 90 seconds because it cooks it so you put your piece of meat into this thing like a toaster, and it uses dual vertical infrared burners to cook both sides simultaneously. So there's no need to flip. The burners top out at 1,652 degrees Fahrenheit and can even ensure edges are crisp thanks to 360-degree heating. A built-in AI chef takes the desired doneness and sear level into account, calculating the proper cooking time and temp based for the foods. It can detect the thickness of things like steak and chicken to prevent over or undercooking, and the burners automatically move toward or away from foods as needed. It's got a quad-core processor and a host of sensors to collect cooking data. It also has oven and rotisserie models, so you can cook pizza and roasted chicken with ease. And the great thing for you, Cole, it is planning to ship in Q4 of 2024. Colby, I don't know if you've seen the price in the article yet. If you have, don't scroll down. I want to know what you think this.
I did see.
Oh, you're busting me here.
I saw the price. Yeah.
$3,500. Although early adopters.
You know, why hadn't they done it before? Just make your meat vertical.
That's gotta be that's the title of the episode. Make your meat vertical. I love that.
Oh God.
Writing that down.
It's horrible. On so many levels.
This thing is rocking. But you know, boy, we've covered a lot of stupid cooking gadgets over the years on the show. A lot of them, and most of them don't exist. But I'm kind of like, cooking meat is not easy. And if you can cook a 1-inch steak in 90 seconds, it's 10 times faster. For me, it's like, I want to open up a restaurant with a couple of these things. Like I'm gonna open up a
Right,
steakhouse and buy like 5 of these.
Well, if you're cranking out $100 steaks in 90 seconds, like, that $3,500 doesn't sound so crazy after all, does it?
I think it, the science, cooking it vertically, the science kind of makes sense. I get it. It's just like so unapproachable for the average person. And you've got to just really cook a lot of meat for this to make any like they're going to sell 5 of these. It's just like it's so impractical for 99% of. And I also think it kind of takes away the like if the assumption is that this replaces your standard gas grill, it kind of takes away. Grilling is not fun because it cooks the meat great. Grilling is fun because you're grilling and you're outside and you're checking it and you're flipping it and you're doing the, this is the microwave for meat, and that's not fun.
The meatcrowave.
It's the meatcrowave. That's another good alternate title. Damn, you're on fire.
The Perfecta is just my muse, I guess.
It's just lighting up that brain of yours. So the question, Colby, on the Colby feels good, feels bad scale, where's the Sear Grills Perfecta grill come in?
So bad.
So bad. Oh, really?
No one has room for this. I would love to eat a steak that was cooked vertically in a hyper toaster, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna run out and buy one.
No, you're not gonna get on the waiting list.
No, sir.
I was gonna look and see if they have any other. The world's first AI-powered grill. Ugh. Now it says it cooks pizza. Does it cook the pizza vertically? I'm gonna assume not. No, it just does it on a regular pan. Okay. I was about to say. Yeah, I think it's whatever. Anytime anyone does anything new, I think it's neat. I mean, it's not the stupidest thing, but you're right. It's like so impractical. All right, that was the Perfecta grill. Colby, which one would you like to do next?
the like robo projector.
Yes, the Bali, which actually I need to do a quick search in because this was actually announced back in 2020. So we may have talked about it on the show.
Yeah, I feel like
oh, we did.
When I saw this, it felt familiar to me.
Yeah, well, how about this? Episode number 264, recorded January 13th, 2020. Episode title, Bouncy Bali.
Oh my god, it made the title.
Made the title, so that's been really memorable that year. The Bali robot is back. Now, I don't believe they ever actually like sold the 2020 version. And I don't know if they'll ever sell this one, but the Bali robot is back. So this is a little spherical-looking robot pal that goes around your house. The new feature they've added is a projector built in that can project things on the floor, the wall, or the ceiling. They say it's the world's first projector to automatically detect people's posture and facial angle and adjust the optimal projection angle for you. So in the video, they have things like playing a video on the ground for a dog to see, displaying a video call on the wall, showing a fitness video on the ceiling to somebody working out on the floor. In addition, it also serves as a smart home assistant, turning on the lights and dispensing dog food and texting people. It can also follow you around the house and greet you when you come to the door. So just a lot of really vague stuff. No words on when it might be released or how much it might cost, other than the fact that the ball is back.
Wow.
So I got the video playing here, but it just seems to wheel around and do stuff.
I mean, I like it. My beef, I feel like a big missed opportunity with like Roomba and all of the robot vacuums is they're not cute enough. Like maybe this is different now, but like, I had a Roomba probably like 5 years ago now, and it like would talk, but it talked in like the most generic, like horrible computer to speak, like text to speech voice. Like, why can't you be a little bit more fun? More fun. Like, you're this thing that like tools around. Like, they need to hire someone from Disney to like make it nice or something, right? I feel like robots could be cool, or whatever stupid robots could be cute, and you know, obviously this is probably vaporware, but it looks cute and it looks cute in the video.
It's very nice. I do not understand what it actually does or has value. Like, all I'm imagining is this thing wheeling around my house, like randomly projecting shit on the floor and walls.
Right, playing ads.
Yeah, be like, oh, I thought you might want to watch an episode of The Office. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. Why are you? You know, it's just such a strange idea. I also like, you know, obviously when they shoot these videos for these products, they design a space where it makes, like, my house doesn't have that many big blank open walls. I have popcorn ceilings. Like, you're not going to project a nice image on that.
Oh no, the popcorn.
You know,
maybe that could be one of their technological innovations, like how to project a legible image on a popcorn ceiling.
Or just invent a robot that the ceiling-y and it scrapes the popcorn off my ceiling. Now that's useful. I don't know what this thing does.
Wow.
But it's silly. But nobody, I mean, what was the one Amazon came out with like a year or two ago that was supposed to follow you around the house and do things for you? And then I don't know that anyone ever actually got one.
I don't know. I don't remember that. Didn't Sony always have like a dog thing?
Oh, so I think Sony in like 1983 had one. I mean, they've been the kings of just like odd robot things that cost $8,000 and nobody bought.
Right.
So, you know, again, it's just nice that we have an up. Who knows if we'll ever actually get it? Let's see here. Why don't we talk about something that theoretically may not be stupid? You're going to have to decide, Colby. I want to talk about LG's new transparent TV. Every year we get some kind of TV gimmick, and LG really took the case this year. Now, it's not the first time transparent display prototypes have existed. This is the first time you'll actually be able to buy one. It's the OLED Signature T from LG, a 77-inch display that's transparent. It's a transparent panel. So it essentially looks like your stuff is just floating in air. Now, it has a contrast film that with a push of a button can be raised that will make it look like a regular monitor. You lower it then to see what's behind it. It's got some custom software that's designed for the unique display. To be honest. Now, the reviewers who saw it in Vegas said the transparency on it is super cool, but when you put the screen up and it's like a normal TV, it just looks okay. It's not as nice as a real TV, which I guess makes some amount of sense. And there is no, they intend to ship it this calendar year, but no price is listed. So no idea what this costs. I mean, I don't know if this is a good idea. If I'm
okay, I almost
totally
can't
honest here.
believe this is real. LG is finally bringing a
Let's see a video here
transparent
of what it
TV
looks like.
market. Now, for years and years at CES, we've seen many prototypes of these screens. But with the new Signature OLED T,
What do you,
T for transparent, LG plans
what do
to
you think
launch
of this
TV
one?
that people can actually buy this year. Very, very rich people, that is. Now, the OLED T is a 77-inch
I don't.
Behind
It
it is
does
a
kind of look cool.
raised to make it look like a normal TV, or lower if you want to see what's on the screen. LG had a bunch of demos to show off.
Is
you wanna
the
make it
sound
look-
playing on your computer, Sean?
You
or
can
is it
do-
on
Oh,
mine?
can you hear it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted the tab and did not realize that didn't work. I apologize to everyone who had to hear that. I am not editing that out. I hope it was informational.
I thought it was kind of informational. Like the video was on the screen. I thought it was I was like frantically searching through my windows to figure out.
So sorry about that. Oh my goodness. That's a good lesson learned, I guess.
To answer your question, it does look weirdly cool. One thing I don't understand though is like, do you like all of the demo images are like, it's like a person singing and behind them is just like a blank background. It's like a black screen. It's like, do you watch regular TV on it or just like what does it look like for a show where there are like trees behind people or something? But it does look cool. Even in just the stilly pictures that they took, is like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I don't know. What do you think, Sean?
I think this is my favorite kind of gimmick. Like, to me, this is like, it's like foldable phones, where it's like the concept of them, I think, is cool. I'm like, that's awesome. And then, like, but I'm never going to own one. Most people should not own one. It has no real advantage in the real world, but the technology is cool. Some rich guy's going to have this in his house and it's going to be cool. Or you're going to see it on the wall in a shopping mall and you're going to be, ooh, what's that? That's cool. I just don't understand the practicality. But as a concept, I'm like, damn, that is like, it's almost like when Samsung first came out with those frame TVs that look like art on the wall, where I'm like, if I just had one of these on my wall, I would never watch TV on it. I would just play cool shit on it just to look at. It's like, it's more art than a piece of electronics. And that's great. I just, this is going to cost $10,000 and you will never own one. And that's okay. I'm glad that they at least try to do crazy stuff like this. It's way more interesting than just another standard TV,
Did you see in the last paragraph where they say like, we don't know at the price, but these are some of the prices of things LG has announced at previous CESs. I'm like, I remember talking about the rollable like OLED, but I do not remember if we covered the $100,000 that it costs to get the rollable OLED.
Yes, and it's only a 65-inch set. That costs $100,000. So, but also I mean that's stupid. That's a very dumb price. And again, I don't think they actually sold any. But I get the practicality.
Of the rolling.
Yeah, because it's like for a space concern, or imagine it upside down and it rolls down from the ceiling or something, because it's you use the walls for other thing when you're not watching television. Like, okay, there's at least some usefulness to that. Not at that price. But give it up for them trying.
I guess we'll see. Transparent TVs. The T.
Well, my favorite question was, where was it? Oh, the company hasn't decided whether it'll come bundled with all the side furniture or if it'll sell them separately. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, if you look at all of these pictures in this article, it's in this like cabinet where there's like a proper amount of depth behind it, where I'm like, maybe this would look really stupid if it wasn't in this one very specific cabinet setup. Like it's backlit behind it. So I do wonder if you want to get the furniture with it. Like, because if you think about it, like in your house, you're just going to see like the wall behind it most of the time.
Right. Better be a good wall.
Yeah. Am I going to have to like wallpaper behind my TV so it looks cooler? This is a hassle. Damn you, LG. All right, we got one more here. Maybe the stupidest thing I saw in my research, and it's so stupid I don't even really understand it, but I did want to talk about it. Colby, have you ever wanted to teach your dog to play music along with you?
Yes, almost every day.
Good. Well, you're in luck because Hong Kong-based Zoo Gears was demonstrating the Butter. No idea what it's called. That a 4-key instrument with light-up pads your dog can play. Essentially, the dog has to follow along with a sequence of lights, each one triggering another few notes of whatever song you've equipped it with. Once it's done, you can reward their effort with a treat or some other form of encouragement. And eventually, they'll want to jam alongside you. I am going to play this video so you can see how bizarre this thing is in practice. So you'll see the buttons light up for the dog to... The dog gets his little treat for barely stepping on the buttons. It started on Kickstarter. It'll be available in the US for $99, and you'll get the companion app as well. They're also going to be working on a second part, The Biscuit, priced at $2.99, which adds an automatic food dispenser, which is what was there in the video, where they'll be able to feed themselves.
The butter and the biscuit.
I'm just so confused because I'm like, I'm baffled.
Did you click through to their website?
No, but now I'm very tempted.
In big letters, it says, "Have you ever imagined ... dogs can play music ? And then under it says, "Sounds like a scam ? Nope.
Bad start.
Is exploring what pets can do.
What's the joke? It's the with the T-shirt where my T-shirt says anyway. Sounds like a scam is not a way to start your thing. That's not a scam. And it's an Internet of Things device. Okay, hang on. Now I got to really see. Can your dog use the buttons to do other things? The app. Oh my god, it's got a practice dashboard. Oh my god, it scores your dog at how good they are on music. Wow. You can add more buttons. I'm trying to figure out... Yeah, it's an Internet of Things. I wonder if you can program the buttons to do things other than play music. Because then maybe that's interesting. But just trace your dog's music power. Your dog will tap into his or her endless potential. The first smart music instrument made for dogs. This sounds fake. Oh, here we go. So they got... Here's a dog... I gotta play a little more audio here. This is a dog playing solo. Oh my god. Well, first of all, you can tell they sped up the video, which is very strange. But also, the dog is just standing on the buttons, which I think kind of defeats the purpose.
Right.
I love this.
It's pretty wild. Modular add-on design. Wow. Did you notice the Beatles? It's like the Let It Be cover with one of the dog photoshopped in as one of the people.
Well, what's incredible is they earned 201,000 Hong Kong dollars on Kickstarter, which I don't know what that is in dollars, but it's a lot. So they've sold them.
Wow. Amazing.
Absolutely nuts. Well,
we should
Colby
do Kickstarter, Sean.
I'm just saying, I don't think it would be hard. We've definitely, put it this way, over the years, we have had absolutely better ideas on the show than the #1 world's dog music device.
Honestly, your idea 10 minutes ago about a like case with extra shortcut buttons is a pretty good idea.
But Colby, now you can make it even better because it's an attachable case with extra button ... for your dog. And he gets a little treat. A little treat pops out after he pushes the buttons. Absolutely nuts. Well, another CES in the books. And that means another episode here is heading towards that direction. Dan, unfortunately, could not be here. Hopefully, he'll join us next time. I do want to tease up for debate, Colby. We just recorded a new episode last week, and we are back playing Dream Daddy, if you can believe it. This time, our dad goes on a date with Matt, who is the Australian coffee shop owner, and he takes them to a rock concert, a hardcore rock concert. The mosh in the mosh pit. And it was a hoot.
Nice.
We do lots of bad voices. So you want to check that out. And I will tease Colby. We have some the next month and a half on Up for Debate is going to be off the damn charts. We've got our annual Super Bowl prop bets are coming up in a couple weeks. And I know you saw the big announcement. The people have asked for it, and now it's here. The Movie League is back, baby. Get excited. The draft tentatively scheduled for late February. Stay tuned. Our biggest event of the year is returning after a COVID-induced hiatus. So a lot to check out there at UpForDebate.tv, where we get podcasts. Of course, our show, Don'tPanic.io, is our website. The audio and the video are going to be there, so you can check that out. Subscribe wherever you get podcasts, and the videos on YouTube as well. And of course, you can get a hold of us. Don'tPanicShow@gmail.com is our email. You should email us there. Colby's given the thumbs up. Entirely baffled by I gotta love when macOS has new additions. Some fun stuff. But on behalf of Colby, I'm Sean. We appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time for another jam-packed episode of Don't Panic.